If you look at the toy aisle today, you would think you need an engineering degree just to pick out a rattle. We are constantly sold the idea that smart kids are made by expensive gadgets, educational apps, and flashcards. But neuroscience tells a different story. The most explosive period of brain growth happens before the age of 5. In this time, your child's brain is forming over 1 million new neural connections every single second. This is called neuroplasticity. And here's the good news. You don't need the sophisticated robot toy to wire those connections. You just need tiny, consistent interactions. Today, we're walking through 5 specific science-backed habits that take less than 2 minutes a day, but will pay dividends for your child's intelligence for the rest of their life. Habit number 1 is one of my favorites. It's called the broadcaster method. I do this with both my 8-year-old and my 2-year-old. The 8-year-old, definitely more sophisticated conversations, and this is a lot more fun right now because I can go really way out there. The 2-year-old has to be a little bit softer and a little bit different, but you'll understand in just a moment. Habit number 1 is the broadcaster method because while most of us naturally talk to our kids, how we talk to them is what really matters. And there's a famous study regarding the 30 million word gap, showing that kids who hear more words before the age of 3 have higher IQs and better reading skills later on. But it's not just about the quantity, it's about descriptive quality. So instead of just saying, put your shoes on, you're going to be a sportscaster. You're going to say, we are putting our blue sneakers with the white Velcro straps on. Left foot goes first. You're going to be narrating very descriptively to them. Now, when you use rich descriptive adjectives, you aren't just filling silence. You're building the scaffolding for their future writing and speaking skills. So the habit, narrate the mundane. If it's boring, like the laundry, cooking, driving, broadcast everything. Talk about what you see, what you hear. You can talk about all of the different players that are involved. And basically, again, just be a sportscaster for them as they go through the day. Now, habit number 2 is called serve and return. This is also known as a connection loop. It comes directly from the Harvard Center on the Developing Child. And it's very important because I want you to imagine a game of tennis. Your child is going to serve a ball by cooing or pointing or asking a question. And if you are on your phone or you ignore them, the ball drops, the game ends, and scientifically, stress hormones like cortisol actually go up in the child's brain. But when you return that serve, by making eye contact, by smiling, by mimicking the sound back to them, you are literally building neural pathways. Now, the habit is this. When your child seeks attention, catch the ball. You don't have to do it 24/7, but when you are engaged, be fully engaged. That back and forth interaction is the primary fuel for emotional intelligence and social skills. Now, habit number 3 is called crossing the line. Habit number 3 is physical. It's a little bit different, but it has a massive impact on academics. And again, it's called crossing the midline. So your brain has 2 hemispheres, a left and a right. For them to communicate efficiently, they use a bridge called the corpus callosum. We need to thicken that bridge. So anytime your child moves a limb across the center of their body to the other side, they are strengthening the bridge. That is actually a precursor to reading. Why? Because reading requires your eyes to cross the midline of a page without stopping. Now, the habit is to play games that twist, passing a ball side to side, touching opposite knees, or even good old-fashioned crawling. Now, if your kids skipped crawling and went straight to walking, not a problem. Get them back on the floor. You can play bears, you can play army crawl. Their future reading depends on how well you do this. All right? Now, habit number 4 is the I wonder technique. This habit in particular is about asking questions and how you ask questions. So we often quiz our kids, what color is this? What animal is this? And that relies on memory. We want to trigger critical thinking. So you want to switch from quizzing to wondering. You want to use the phrase, I wonder. I wonder where that puddle goes when the sun comes out. I wonder what that dog is thinking right now. This is going to force their brain to simulate scenarios, predict outcomes, and use their imagination. It moves the brain activity from the storage department to the processing department. You don't need to know all the answers. In fact, it's better if you don't. You want to let them theorize. Finally, habit number 5. This is the hardest for me. It's the hardest for most parents, but it is the most important for resilience. It's called the 10-second pause. When your child struggles with a puzzle, a zipper, or opening a snack, your instinct, my instinct, is to rescue them immediately. I want to end that frustration. I want to stop it for them. I want to fix the problem, right? I know how to open that bag. They don't. I will help them. That's my immediate feeling. But neuroscience tells us that that moment of struggle is when the brain is laying down the most myelin, which is an insulation that makes brain signals faster. And if you fix the problem immediately, you rob them of that growth. So the habit is that when you see them struggle, count in your head to 10. Give them the space to problem solve. If they still can't do it, you don't do it for them. You help them. You guide their hands, but you let them finish the task. Now, building a supercharged brain isn't about grand gestures. It's about the narrating. All right, that's sportcasting. All right, you want about returning. You want to make sure that you return their interaction to you, the moving across their body, the wondering, and the pausing. It is the tiny habits repeated thousands of times that build the architecture of a happy, smart human being. Now, I'm curious, which of these 5 is the hardest for you to do? For me, it's definitely the pausing. Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe to us. We have a whole video coming out next on nutrients for brain development, so stick around. Thanks for watching and happy parenting.